Sí, sí, sí. Ve, ve, rápido, rápido.
Este año
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Unidos Online Game Jam Judge Stream. My name is Elaine Gomez, and I'm one of the co founders of Latinx in Gaming. And I'm joined here by our wonderful judges who all have dedicated a little bit of their time to judge all of these games that were submitted. So, the Unidos Online Game Jam ran from September 12th through October 3rd, and we had 261 participants and 41 games that were submitted. So, out of all of those games, we selected about a dozen that we would like to highlight because we really think they really were outstanding in some areas of game design and development, and we want to honor that. So yesterday we went through a good chunk of the games that we are contenders. So we're going to finish off in this part two with the rest of the games that we didn't get to touch, as well as talk about a few honorable mentions that perhaps may not be contenders for the winning categories, but we still think that they deserve a shout out because of their design or some really unique features that they added. So I'll go ahead and allow the judges to introduce themselves really quickly.
Hey everyone, my name is Julio Lopez. I'm a senior game designer in the FIFA team at EA in Vancouver, Canada, but originally from Brazil. And I am so honored and so happy to take part in one of my biggest passions, which is game jams, and the opportunity to do that in a game jam that's celebrating Hispanic heritage and Latino culture was just too good to pass up. So my thank you again to Latinx in Gaming and all the organizing committee and staff at Unidos, to my fellow judges with whom I've learned so much, and we've had the privilege of playing such great games, and this has been an amazing experience. I hope you had a chance to catch yesterday's stream, because I think we talked about some pretty good games then, but we're going to talk about some pretty good games today as well. And another interesting fact about being a Latino game developer and working abroad is that I'm always looking for ways to continue to connect with, in my case, the Brazilian game dev community. And one of the ways I do that is through my podcast called PodQuest, which it can be found at www.podquest.com.br, and it's in Portuguese, and it's a way to continue to learn and grow with the Brazilian industry, and maybe give back a little bit to the folks that are back there, where I was not too long ago. It's been 12 years that I've been with EA, but before then, there were 10 years where I worked in the local Brazilian gaming industry, and the podcast is just that little way for me to continue to connect with them. And funnily enough, I was hyping this whole jam in my podcast as much as I could. And turns out that 5 or 6 of the games that were submitted came from people that I just know by their usernames that they're from our community down there. So I'm glad to see that Brazil is being represented in the game jam. And but regardless of where the games came from, I'm just so happy that we had so many good games to look at. And hopefully, you guys will get a chance to play them too. Go to the itch.io page of each game and check them out. I'm sure the judges here are super happy with the results.
Yeah, for sure. As Latinx in Gaming, we're definitely excited that we had so many submissions, and thank you so much again for hyping it up for your community, because I'm sure that helped as well bring more diversity into the jam stream only, so that it's not just all Spanish speaking folks or English speaking folks, but we also had Brazilian games that were in Portuguese as well.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Hi, everybody. My name is Luis Villegas. I work at Bungie, been at Bungie for 16 years. I work on the technology side, overseeing everything around online systems, online gaming. I happen to be from Medellin, Colombia, and I'm super excited to be here with my fellow friends here, judges, looking at all the awesome games that you all submitted. So happy to be here.
Hey everybody, my name is Paul Beckler and I'm a sound designer at EA. I've been there for about the past 5 years. For a number of years before that, I was a game audio instructor at a post-secondary institution, and then I've worked in music for about the past 15 years. So really happy to be here. Super thanks to Latinx Games and just the opportunity to learn more about Hispanic heritage and play some really awesome games.
Yeah. Hello. My name is Paula Silva. I'm from Brazil. I'm currently working as an assistant technical art at Electronic Arts in Vancouver. I've been working with game for the last 5 years, around that. I'm currently working the FIFA project as well. Um, yeah, I'm very happy for being part of the judo teams. I really like to. I used to participate for the game jams a lot, so I really like to do that, and I'm very happy to be in the other side of the table this time. And so, and so, thanks everyone. Thanks for the opportunities, and thanks for to everyone for the amazing games that I had a chance to play. It was really awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much again, judges, for just taking your time to go through all these games with me because I could not have imagined going through 41 games by myself. So that was a really, really big help. And also your expertise just adding to the feedback that we're going to give all of these developers. I'm sure it's going to mean the world to them to hear from y'all and what you thought about their work. But regardless of who is a contender and who's a winner and who's not, we are very extremely proud of every single submission. You all did a wonderful job, and you really exemplified what it is to have pride in your heritage, whether it's Spanish speaking or Portuguese speaking or American born but with Latinx heritage. Like you really all exemplified the pride of what that is and honoring your cultures in all different ways that you did. So you should be proud of yourselves for being able to achieve that, and especially in a game jam format where it's already hard as it is, with it being a pandemic, with working, I'm sure, full time, even going to school. Like I'm sure there's many circumstances that were in your plate, and you still made a game. So you should be very happy and content and proud for that work. So at Lennox and Gaming here, before we start going through the rest of the games that we are judging, I just want to give a shout out to the rest of the staff for definitely being supportive of the Game Jam, for all of our awesome sponsors who pitched in a little bit here and there to make the jam a reality. Thank you so much. And our job here at Latinx and Gaming really is to just amplify the Latinx community, whether it's American born here in the United States or whether it's abroad. We just want to amplify your work, your voice, and everything that you have to offer. We're here to build community, and we're here to give you familia. If you feel that you don't belong, if you don't feel like you don't have one, we're here for you. Alrighty, so let's get into it. So the very first game that we are discussing today is the Mariachi Loco, and I know Paul, you really enjoyed this one, and I thought it was a really neat one too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing that stood out about this one right away, so if you haven't played it yet, it's a kind of multiplayer arena shooter, and it's heavily stylized, and I think that's what stood out right away is the style that they chose to go with was kind of like mariachi skeletons, and so that's one aesthetic that you can choose to go to. But when that continues through to the weapons, that really helps to set it apart from a lot of other games or any other kind of game in that style. So the fact that you have a trumpet shotgun or a violin sniper rifle is just a really interesting mechanic, and I think that shows how the audio can be integrated with the gameplay, and it's not just, oh, let me go get another handgun sound, let me go get another rifle sound that so many games try to do. And usually what games try to do to separate themselves with weapon sounds is, I'm just going to record it better, I'm going to record it with more microphones, I'm going to record it something else. Or it's science fiction where, I made a laser gun and that it sounds totally different than your laser gun, and that's totally different. So it does something diverse in that sense. But what's cool about this is that, well, they're grounding it in reality with an instrument and then making that the weapon of choice. But on top of that, usually what most people miss in some kind of a shooter game like this is vocalizations. It seems so basic, but you'd be surprised at how much that can sell your character, as opposed to just, you got hit, oh, I have a grunt or a groan or something like that. And so the fact that they still have something like that in there for their characters to help sell them apart, I thought it was just really well done. And again, just something that, to get that level of polish or that level of detail in a game jam when they have such a limited time frame, I thought was really well done. So the fact that they chose to integrate audio into their gameplay right from the get-go was really well done.
Yeah, I think it was like a really big technological feat. Like, I'm not an engineer, but like doing a network game where you can host and you can join, like for a game jam, like I don't see that often either, because that takes a lot of technical know-how to make sure that that works in 3 weeks. and to test that all, like I would have been scared. I definitely wouldn't have tried to do a network game for a game jam. So I kudos to the engineers on that team for putting that together and making sure that it worked properly because I didn't have issues connecting at all when I was playing. So that was pretty incredible. And I just love the setting. Everything was so colorful and vibrant, and it really invited you to just have fun with it. And it wasn't your typical shooter again. It like because of the instrumentation and the whole setting of it seemed like Dia de los Muertos and like very almost like a festival kind of feeling. That's what I got from the level. It was very celebratory, and it didn't feel like very like it was trying to be something that it was not. Like a lot of first-person shooter games that I see, it's like they have the crates, and then they have the. It's like you have to have metal, and like you have to have all these textures that are very typical of FPSs. But here it's like no, you have your case, your violin case, and that's spinning around, and that's how you get your ammo. And you have the banners of the garlands with the I think it's called papel cortado, where it's just like the paper that's all cut in different patterns and it's hanging in garlands. Like having that be up in the air, just very festive looking, and like the little altars with the candles for honoring Dia de los Muertos. I thought that everything was just so well put together, and it wasn't disrespectful of Day of the Dead, because you see that a lot, like especially Halloween coming up and things like that. Like I didn't feel like it was trying to mock or do an injustice to that celebration, but it was very much celebrating what is Dia de los Muertos and Mexican culture all together, with mariachis, with instruments, with the garlands, and with those altars for your loved ones who passed away. I thought everything was really well done culturally, and it was just fun to play. It was one of those games where you wanted to keep playing, and I thought that was really well done. Alrighty, second on the list, Los Rostros del Bosque. I know, Paula, this was like your go-to game.
Oh yeah, I am a big fan of this kind of game, so I would like to talk about Los Rostros del Bosque, the face of the forest. Uh, I loved to play this game. It's a Metroidvania where you draw animals to receive their abilities. And talking about the story, actually no, I won't give any spoilers, no words. But this game is very rich in the story, and the story is not told only by text, but visually as well, because you play in a little town in the Argentina Patagonia, and the game team was very careful in the details. For example, if you pay attention to the visual of the geography or the animals that were used in the game or the games of the characters, everything was kind of careful choose to better represent the Mapuche folklore. So I thought it amazing, the details and how it was represented. I googled everything because I was curious when I saw in the description that they added these details. So it was really nice. I recommend you. And talking about the gameplay, the level design is awesome. The way that you can advance for the levels only after receiving specific mechanics, and it works very well. As a Metroidvania, it works very well. I started to play exploring some place, and that I didn't know how to access specific parts of the level, for example. So after I received some abilities or after I saw that it was possible to combine the mechanics that are already had, I was like, oh, okay, now I know how can I advance to the another part, to the another side. So, oh, cool, cool. So the way the level was built and the way that you use the mechanics, drawing the animals and receiving the specific abilities that you need to advance in the specific parts of the map, and I enjoyed this game a lot. I thought the puzzles and the mechanics were smart, and this game it took me about 2 hours, 2 hours and a half to be
Wow.
Wow.
completed. So I was really impressed for a game jam, for example, that it took 3 weeks. So it's I really like to play this game. Congratulations to the team.
There's a thing that's really interesting about this game, which is for game jams and for some of the other games that I play and I have seen at other game jams is people gravitate towards platformers because they think it'll be easy to do, but getting a platformer right is actually very difficult. Like getting the movement and the core mechanics and the core design to make that the motion feel right, and that connection with the controls is pretty difficult. And I think El Rosso del Bosque got it done really well. I think it was very well executed.
Yeah. I also found it interesting that puzzle that you have to connect the dots, where like they didn't really explain to you how to do it, but you understood how to do it as you did it. And I thought that was really smart because it reminded me of The Witness, that you have this world built around puzzles and it doesn't teach you how to do it, but it's easy enough where you can figure out what you have to do, but the strategy in figuring out the solution is all on you as a player, and you feel super smart when you actually get it right.
Right.
So I
Yeah,
thought I really liked that because it adds that layer of complexity in what seems to be something that's an afterthought when it comes to puzzles, where you actually integrate it because you need to do it. And I thought that was really well done on their part. Okay, no more feedback on that one. I kind of just stopped it. I was like quiet. I was like, did I say
No.
something wrong? Okay. Alrighty, so the last nominee that we have on the list is, so sorry to the developer, I really will try very hard to pronounce this correctly. It's Guatemala. I think that is the proper way to say it. And I think that is the indigenous name for Guatemala, if I'm not mistaken. So that is pretty nice. I'm so sorry. Please correct me if I'm wrong in chat. I don't want to butcher the indigenous name of Guatemala, but wow, this game was so pretty. It really, the terrain of it was so beautiful, and the whole idea that you have passed away and now you are a bird, like traveling through Guatemala and seeing these locations, these points of interest in Guatemala that are important to the history. I thought that was really, really beautiful. And it's one of those like educational games where if it's not well done, it can seem very flat and has like no substance. It's kind of like having Wikipedia in a 3D world type of thing. But I think they were able to achieve a sense where it felt really nice to just navigate and look at the terrain in and of itself, and going to these specific locations and turning into a different animal. And in this case, in the game, you turn into a wolf when you are exploring a location and getting history of that place, and the fact that you can roam around and go into the places, I thought was really smart. And it gives you that sense of, even though I may not be able to go to Guatemala and experience some of these things, I can learn about them in a different way than just reading about them online or reading a book or things like that, which I thought was really, really neat. Did anybody
we
else
we
like Guatemala?
Yeah, we have a suspicion that they may have used actual topology data
Mm.
to make up the world of the game. We can't be 100% sure, but all things point to them actually having the terrain based on real data from Guatemala, and that is so cool. And again, I think a theme of this jam and the games we're looking at, so many games that don't pull any punches, that
Mm.
do things. How many times have we said throughout these two streams, oh, this is not something you do typically in a game jam game? And almost every one of these games had something about them that was like that. So I think it speaks to the general quality of all the games that were submitted, and how hard our job is to honestly
Yeah.
to pick the winners here. But I think in the end we're gonna reflect on the gem, and I think that's the one thing that's gonna stick with me, is just how these developers did not pull any punches. And I think with this game, you could say that too about just how they decided to be very authentic with the world building that they did.
Absolutely, 100%. Like you could really like see the heart and the intention in every single project. That it wasn't just I'm submitting a game for a game jam because I
Right.
want to try to win some money. It was like I want to share what is special about who I am and my heritage in a game, and that's really special. You don't definitely
Mm,
don't see that often in many
yeah.
game jams at all. And I'm so glad that we were able to give an opportunity for developers of Latinx heritage to be able to do that in this game jam. And I'm sure it's something that I'll never forget, and I hope that we can repeat it next year for a Hispanic Heritage Month. Okay, so
And
with
the
that, oh, go ahead, Paul.
the sorry, The I just want to call out the atmosphere in that game too was just absolutely fantastic. Like right away, as soon as you're introduced to it, like flying through the clouds as a bird, it's just like the score that they put in there was a really well done choice for that because it feels great and then it transitions when you're on the ground and then it goes back. It
Mhm.
seems super subtle or super basic, but something like that the music is going to respond to those two levels and that it feels really appropriate. Like if I just want to fly around in that game all day long. It's fantastic.
Yeah, there was a lot of thought put into those little details that, like you said, Paul, like it just seems like arbitrary, seems like really basic that you something you should do. But the fact that there was thought put into like even like the smallest little thing just speaks volumes as to how special that project was for that developer that they wanted to do it right, even in the little details. And that's really honorable. Alright, so I think we actually went through all of the nominees for the Game Jam contenders. So later in a bit, I will be announcing all of the winners of each category. So please stay tuned for that one. Um, but now what we want to do is honor those games that we thought were fantastic and really well done, but didn't quite necessarily get nominated for a winning category because we really had some incredible games that were very beautiful, very telling, and very different. And we definitely wanted to honor that and give them a little bit of a shout out. So, one of the games on the honorable mentions list is Luz Mala. And I know, I'm sorry, not Luz Mala, because that was a nominee. It was Tamales con Familia, no? Is that an
That one was
honorable
also
mention?
nominated.
Oh, what did I
The Missing
do?
Brother, maybe.
Oh, yes, hold on. I am like, my list is all over the place right now.
You're
So, what
giving
was
people heart attacks somewhere in
Oh,
the world
so
right now.
sorry. I'm so sorry, friends. Okay, let's see. Yes, so one of them was the missing brother.
Yeah.
So I know this is one that you wanted to honor, Jilliard. I didn't get a chance to play it, but
Mhm.
what were some things that you thought were really different, really special about this game?
Yeah, I think The Missing Brother is very ambitious. So this is a third-person action adventure game where you're looking for your brother. You're from an indigenous tribe, and you have a special connection with the animals in the village, so that you can actually control a wolf and your main character, who's a child. And with a press of a button, you can change between them. And the idea was to have puzzles where you have to coordinate actions between the two characters in order to, maybe the wolf will go through a passage that the child can't go, uh, and then we'll do something to try to open a door for the child to go through, and then if there's someone you have to talk to, the child has to do the talking because the wolf doesn't talk, and then they they were, as I said, very ambitious in trying to tackle on a pretty involved concept of a game. And that's where I think the reason why they didn't quite make the list of nominees is that the game just fell a bit short all of these areas. So the gameplay and the camera work, while they did work, uh you could tell that they just ran out of time. They had great ideas. I'm guessing they took on a very large amount of scope for what the game jam uh, duration was. But still, I think it's worth playing. That's why I'm making it a honorable mention, because of all the games, at least that I've played, this was the most ambitious one, and I think there should be some credit to that. And I just like I love the concept, and I would have loved for them to have had more time
Mm.
to show me what a polished, finalized version of the Missing Brother would look like, because I'm sure it would have been one of the strongest games in the jam.
Yeah. Okay, so on my list is two games that were a little bit similar, but they were a little bit different in their own right. So the games are Tuk Tuk Loco and Chicken Bus Crossing. So I definitely really enjoyed them both because they were really fun. And Tuk Tuk Loco was like straight reminiscent of Crazy Taxi, and I loved Crazy Taxi on the Dreamcast back in the day, including from the like little arrow that points to where you need to go to like the green circles that spawn, letting you know where you need to stop. And every time you stop by like a person to pick them up, they have that sound effect where they speak in Spanish. They're like, "Hey, like wait for me," or like right here. Like they got all those little things correct. Borrowing from Crazy Taxi, what made Crazy Taxi good. Um, I think the reason why necessarily they were not a winning contender was really just because they. I think they also ran out of time. If they would have just added a little bit more of that like cultural setting where I'm feeling like I am in that country, and like why is this tuk-tuk taxi, like why are they so dangerous? Like I actually want to know. I want to know what makes the tuk-tuks crazy and why they're scary to get on. Um, and I think if they that would have gotten weaved into the gameplay a little bit more, I think I would have really it would have really stood out from what it currently was. I just needed that little push to get more of that art in there, to make it feel like the setting of the country, and to get those reasons to be as to why is the tuk tuk, why did we pick this? Why don't we just call it Crazy Taxi again, like anything else? And I think that if that would have been done, it would have been stellar. But there are some game design things that they did, like having a radio where you can flip the channel so you can listen to different tracks.
Nice.
And they had reggaeton, they had like salsa, they had like all those little cultural like music tracks in there, and I thought that was really neat. And the fact that they did get some variety in the NPCs where they were wearing traditional dresses, like folklore dresses. They had like street vendor cars, and there were some buildings that you could tell were culturally significant in some way. They did get those things right. I just would have liked that little bit of an extra push in the cultural direction to really sell it and make it setting it apart. And then Bus Crossing. I know Paul, you had mentioned that one as well.
Yeah, that game was a lot of fun. I don't think we could talk about Tuk Tuk Loco being an honorable mention and not have
Yeah.
Chicken Bus Crossing as an honorable mention too. I mean, obviously they're both driving mechanic kind of games, but Chicken Bus Crossing was like I mean, both of these games were just
Yeah.
fun right away. Like as soon as you start playing, it was just like, okay, I'm getting to that end. Chicken Bus Crossing was great. I think Jilly, you had the same
Yep.
experience that I did, where you like beeline to the end. You're like, I did it, and then it's like you didn't get any passengers, and you're like, ooh.
What, I
Yeah,
have to stop and pick up passengers? Yeah.
But of course, you play it again, and then you're like, oh man, like this is kind of difficult because there's no reverse. So
Yes.
your only mechanic is to either like screw it, I'm moving on, ignore those people, or like the worst like U-turn ever. To try and pick
Yeah.
people up. It
Yeah.
was just fun. I mean,
That's funny.
both those games, like it was just tough competition. Like honestly, I don't think either game did anything wrong. It's just we had 41 games that we have to get through in a short amount of time, and they were both really, really well done. Uh, offerings for this game jam. So nice work to those teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other honorable mentions that anybody would have liked to bring up that we didn't necessarily list, but that they're memorable to you when you played them? No? Okay.
I don't think so.
Cool. Awesome. So, yeah, that wraps up the Game Jam Jump stream. So, thank you so much to everybody who participated in our very first Latinx and Gaming Game Jam. Give us feedback on our Discord, on our Twitter. Let us know what you liked about the Game Jam, what you didn't, so that we can do better next time. And to all of our contenders, congratulations for all of our nominees. We will be announcing the 6 winners for each category in a little bit, so stick around. So right now, what I would like to discuss is really kind of like a little post-mortem about the game jams and like how we felt the process was in this as Latinx in gaming, as 41 games, trying to like condense just several few just as winning contenders. Like, what are our thoughts on our post-mortem of this game jam? I think for one, it was a big success. Even though it was 41 games, to me, it was a huge, huge success because I was honestly expecting like 10 games. I was like, this is our first game jam. Nobody has done it before. We've never used itch.io for any game jam stuff. So I'm going to try my best, but I was setting the expectations a little bit low so that I wouldn't get disappointed, being the one that was leading the charge on this on our staff side. But the community blew me away, and the positive response was so amazing that now I'm super encouraged and confident that we can do an even better run next time. But I definitely want to get your thought, judges, on all of this stuff, like being professional devs in industries that perhaps our community members would love to get into but are not there yet. What are some things that you recommend, like next time they join a jam? And for those who did not join the jam, encouraging them to join the jam next time. Like, what are the like pros and cons of joining a jam, and what can they gain from it, and not necessarily as like money involved, like all of that is set aside, just what are the things to look forward to in getting involved in something like this. I think it would be really awesome for all of our community to hear, and also for all of our Twitch folks who are watching who aren't part of the Latinx and gaming community and want to learn a little bit about game jams and how they run and why they are important and why they may be useful. So I'll just open up the floor for anybody.
I mean, if the question is why join a game jam, why put yourself through 3 weeks of stress when there's enough things to stress about right now? I think it's really, this is like, video games are, we're all biased, we're all in video games, but I really do think that they are one of the best forms of expression because they have the opportunity to combine the best parts of a novel, the best parts of a film, the best parts of an album. And those all coming together allow people to be more expressive. So especially under the lens of Latinx gaming, who doesn't want that opportunity to maybe do something that isn't normally getting the attention that it deserves, or to tell a story that maybe isn't being heard? um, like um, just to highlight it here, like a game like Unfolding, I could see that accelerating in certain situations, but to get to really spine a spotlight on a game like that, it's just absolutely fantastic. So I think it really is kind of this like no holds barred, no handcuffs. You don't have to worry about a budget. You don't have to worry about, a particular developer or a publisher or anybody else. It really is just an opportunity for people to make something. And obviously, there's always going to be that comparison to larger indie games or AAA games. But I think this is an opportunity for people to make whatever they can and know that it's going to just be played and evaluated for what it kind of is. So, I mean, that to me is one of the reasons why I think people should do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Paula at one point sent me a message and was like, "There's this game that I'm playing and there's a bug and I can't proceed. What do I do? How do I play the game?" And I was like, you know what? It's okay because sometimes things get buggy and they're broken, but the fact that at least they submitted it, like that is a lot, and they should be proud about that. And it's okay if it's broken and it's not working right, because the whole point of a game jam is to try something new, try new skill sets, try a new game genre maybe that you've never done before, acquire new know-how and new knowledge, and do better next time. And it's not never about winning, because I feel like when you hyper focus yourself on I want to win this category in this game jam, like you box yourself in and the creativity juice just is shot. Like you cannot make a good project by having the goal of being the best or wanting to achieve something great. Like the best projects that I've ever seen just come from the heart of the developer because they want to do something that is meaningful to them, and they put all of their passion and all of their know-how into that, and then it becomes a beautiful project, even completely unintended, and even sometimes where they think they didn't even do a good job, but other people see the complete opposite. So I think there's so many different things that come out of getting involved into something like that. And also, like you said, Paul, shining a light on game genres that aren't necessarily like, you know, mainstream, like, or not necessarily the type of games that people want to play, but by having a game jam that gives them a platform to do that, that means a lot to a lot of people, especially people that feel they don't belong necessarily in the game making community. And I feel like that's the whole point why we decided to do something specifically for Hispanic Heritage Month, because we know that there's a lot of folks out there in our community who don't feel like they belong, that they're not even Latinx because they don't speak Spanish, or they were not born in Latin America, or like where the countries where their parents are from, so they feel removed from the heritage, and to allow them to express themselves in that way. I know that some of them were very, very grateful and thankful on our Discord, saying like, "Thank you for giving me an opportunity to make a game jam before I hit 30." Like somebody did said that, and I thought that was so funny, but also like warmed my heart because I didn't know that that was the goal of theirs. Like we had no idea, but we were able to provide them an opportunity to do that and for them to make something that meant something for themselves, and that's really special. Um, so I'm so grateful that our community really went with along with our experiment of trying this out for the very first time, because it's scary trying to do something when you don't have a point of reference.
Mm.
You're just like, it's been successful elsewhere, but what is that? What does success mean for us? You know, as like a grassroots organization, with a community that's still growing and still trying to reach out into the space. And I'm sure that other community members on chat can definitely share like their what they felt making games through this, and perhaps they didn't get a chance to do it, but they'll do it next time. So yes, please join next game jam if you get a chance. Um, and again, super grateful. Thank you so much, judges, for being a part of this with us. Like we wouldn't have been able to do this without you for sure. So we're super grateful. Um, and yeah, that's gonna wrap up. So please stick around, everyone, for the announcement of the winners of the categories in best narrative, best audio, best gameplay, best overall, and I'm missing two.
Best art,
Best art, and
best
I'm
use of challenges.
and best user challenges. Thank you so
Hey.
much. So those are the six categories. So I will be announcing them in a bit. So please stick around, and don't forget to donate to Gameheads and to Pantera, our charities of choice. Gameheads is doing amazing work with underrepresented youth in the Bay Area to teach them game design and game development. So any dollar that you can give to support their efforts in that regard is much appreciated, as well as for Pantera, the maintaining the integrity and the DNA and the habitats of jaguars all across Latin America, who are really big icons in our mythology and our cultures. It's also greatly appreciated if you could donate to their causes. So thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of Unidos, and we'll be back in a little bit. Hello, everybody. Thanks for sticking around as we are going to be announcing the winners of the Unidos Game Jam right now. My hands are sweating even though I'm only announcing, so I can't even imagine all of you devs in chat waiting to see if you won one of the winning categories. So again, before I even announce and say anything, thank you so much to our judges again, to Paul, Paula, Gilliard, and Luis. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this and giving a little bit of your time and expertise for our developers and as well as for me, because I learned a lot just from hearing you talk and dissecting these games and the game design. So thank you so much. And again, thank you so much for our community. This has been a blast to do. Our very first game jam, like we said over and over again, we're just super proud that we were able to put this together and to host something that had a proper length, 3 weeks long, so that the community could make some really polished and really good games. So congratulations to every single person who submitted, whether you were a solo developer or on a team. Y'all did an incredible job. Do not feel bad that you didn't necessarily that you weren't a contender or that you didn't win a category. Your projects were seen, they were valued, and you really all did great work. So please be proud of yourselves, be happy, and we at Latinx and Gaming are super proud of all the work that you did. So ready for the winning categories? Before I announce, I'm going to read a little bit if anybody has to say anything. Okay, cool. So Gilliard is here with us on chat. Hi, Gilliard. Hi, Paula. Those are some of our judges. Already? Cool. Awesome. So here are the winners. So again, the winning categories for the Unidos Game Jam are in narrative, in art, gameplay, audio, best uses challenges, and overall. So those are the 6 winning categories. Again, each category is being split up into a prize pool of $5,000, which we were given by our incredible sponsors. So thank you so much to each of our sponsors for being able to give us this money to give back to our community so they can continue to make games and use the money to the best of its use. So alrighty. So narrative, drum roll please. Best narrative goes to Unfolding. Congratulations, Casey. We definitely loved Unfolding. We thought it was a beautiful and personal story. Congratulations to you for putting it together for the Game Jam. We are so excited for you, and I hope that you are super excited now. I'm seeing in the chat, yes. Yeah, Casey. Congratulations. So that was our best narrative category winner, Unfolding. Again, if you haven't played any of the Game Jam games, or if you are interested in playing them, you can go to the link that is being posted. If one of the moderators can put up the itch.io link, all the submissions you can play there. Alrighty, so the second category is in art. So again, going to be drum rolling. Our winner is Multier. Congratulations, you have won the best art category. What a beautiful game. I have no idea how you put together all the shaders. I'm assuming they're shaders, but the colors and the way that the light bounced off of the entire environment, the character, the little goblins, like everything was just super spectacular and looked amazing. So congratulations to the Multier developer team for winning best art. Alrighty. Next category is best gameplay. So drum roll again. Best gameplay goes to Los Rostros del Bosque. Congratulations, team. You did an incredible job with your gameplay of just packaging everything together in such a tight-knit way, where you had your Metroidvania elements, you had your platforming elements, you had beautiful art and a beautiful story being told as you talk to the NPCs. So all encompassing together, the gameplay was really well done, and for such a short amount of time, you guys really hit it out of the ballpark. So congratulations to all of you for winning best gameplay. Alrighty, our fourth category is in best audio. So we're gonna drum roll here. Best audio goes to the Mariachi Loco. You guys, I loved Mariachi Loco. The entire idea of using musical instruments as FPS weapons was the most unique, most creative thing that you could have done for the genre, and I hope that you continue working on the game because I think it could really go somewhere. My favorite was a trumpet shotgun. I thought that was the neatest weapon out of all of them. And my partner and I had a lot of fun playing your game. So congratulations, the Mariachi Loco team, for winning Best Audio. Okay. Second to last category is best use of challenges. So for those of you that didn't know, in our Unidos Game Jam, we had some challenges that were optional that each developer team could have used. So some of these challenges included like using a language that was not just English. So a lot of the games were both in English and in Spanish or even in Portuguese. Another challenge was no use of UI or HUD elements. Another UI element was the use of peace, so not having any violence or anything like that integrated in the gameplay. Another challenge was to use rhythms and sounds from the home country or whatever culture the game was going to be about. So we had a varying range of different challenges that each developer team could have used to make their gameplay more unique or make it that much more I guess, more cultural. So this team in particular who won this category literally ticked the box off of almost every single challenge. So that is really amazing that they were able to do that, and they were able to do it well. So it didn't feel like it was something extra added on. It was really integrated into the overall design. So the winner of best use of challenges is, drumroll, Enchanted Island. Congratulations, Enchanted Island team. Boricua, capaz que tú lo sepas, I know that entire game was about Puerto Rico and El Yunque, so I am very proud that we are able to give that award to you of Best Use of Challenges. You really did an awesome job, and wow, like the fact that you had a save and load system in a Game Jam game, blown away. I'm so happy because now I can get to go back and actually finish the game because the breadth of content of the game was quite large for a Game Jam game. So kudos to y'all for doing a stellar job at the use of challenges and to paying an homage to our beautiful island of Puerto Rico. Alrighty, so last winning category, the ones that you have all been waiting for. This is the best overall game. This is the game that I and the judges felt that really exemplified everything that had to do with this game jam, where they really went above and beyond to make everything tight knit. It felt good. It was fun to play. So we're really proud of this developer team, and we are excited to announce that the best overall game for the Game Jam is Llorona. Congratulations, Game Dev Boy and team. Your game was fantastically put together. We really thought it was a great story that used Llorona as a horror element in with those Resident Evil elements and the PS1 type of retro graphics. Everything down from the puzzles to using different weapons to Metroidvania back into different areas that were closed off before. Stellar use of simple game design mechanics that felt like really give you good jump scares, good horror gameplay. And we are so proud of the work that you're able to put in over the past 3 weeks. So that is it, y'all. We have gone through all the winning categories for the Game Jam. So going through each category again, just to recap, best narrative went to Unfolding. Best gameplay went to Los Rostros del Bosque. Best audio went to the Mariachi Loco. Best overall went to La Llorona. And just Llorona. Best overall was La Llorona or Llorona. Why do I keep messing up? And I feel like I'm missing one game. Yes, and best art to the multi-tier team. So those are our winning games for the Game Jam. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating. You were all amazing, and we hope that next time we do a Game Jam, that you come and join us so that we can shine your work and the incredible creativity that you all have, because it really is something worthy of celebrating. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you later. Enjoy the rest of Unidos Online.